We are beginning our April circuit of our town halls. The subject that we'll be talking about today and the rest of the month will be centered around the challenge process. So I'm going to be getting into that in just 1 second after I cover covered a couple of different items. I want to start with the agenda. So this is kind of how we're going to be formulating a lot of the town halls moving forward, just for everyone's benefit. We're going to be starting off with some updates on digital equity, updates around the office, as well as various resources that we offer. Then we'll go into an FAQ section where you'll hear a lot less from me and a lot more from other members of our team, which I'm sure is going to be great for everyone. And then we'll do some looking back and basically some looking forward, some upcoming dates and events that we want everyone to be aware of. Moving on to discuss first the digital equity piece. Our plan has been approved, as everyone's aware. The NOFO has also been dropped by NTIA, which gave us an idea of, first off, how much we're going to be receiving, which is about $6.5 million in the first tranche, when it's going to be due, and how we are going to be submitting our application for the capacity grant. So basically what's going on right now is we completed the planning portion of digital equity. We are now going to take the plans that were, the plan that was generated from a variety of different external input, internal input, and working through the NTA curing process. We're going to take that plan, we're going to apply for the $6.5 million to then go ahead and implement that plan, which will involve quite substantial kind of grant opportunities. So we'll be making more information available for that fairly soon. We will be submitting our application to the capacity grant in the coming months. And as that happens, we'll be having some more information coming out from the office around the specifics of that, kind of what we're looking for in the applications, things of that nature, stuff that you've come to expect from us when it comes to the BEAD process. We'll be seeing a lot of that in digital equity, just on a slightly smaller scale. Another thing I just want to talk about quickly with digital equity is that we do have a digital equity page. We are currently updating that. We are going to be posting all of the digital equity information on that page. It's no longer hosted by the NITC or the OCIO. It will now be hosted by us. We are working to update that, and that'll be where the plan actually is going to be uploaded to. So once that gets done, you'll be able to see that, and there'll be a whole bunch of new information posted on that web page. So just for everyone's awareness, this page does exist. We are working to update it. It is not currently updated, but that is on our task list. A couple other updates as far as the office is concerned. We would like to welcome Josh Russo, who is one of our newest team members. Fantastic to have him on board. One thing I do want to target just generically for everyone's benefit is how we want to go about the office communicating with the public and how you want to get answers in the best way possible. If you could email the office at ndot.broadbandoffice@nebraska.gov, that'd be great. That's the best opportunity for us to provide you correct and timely answers. We all have access to that within the office, so you might get a response back from me, from Trevi, or Rachel. Just know that that's coming from the office officially, and that is the official answer. So if you need an answer to anything, please do consider doing that. Obviously, you can always call Rachel and Trevi as well, but that is the best way, in my opinion, to get answers from the office. As well as we're going to be having a website resources page that is coming soon. We don't have that posted currently, but there'll be a whole variety of information and resources available to the public there, not just on whatever the flavor of the month topic is for our town hall, but there could be information there on workforce when we're talking about digital equity or things of that nature. It's kind of just going to be a one-stop shop for a variety of different items that might not fit neatly in other buckets. Next, after that, I do want to get into some frequently asked questions. These are focused around the challenge process, and I'll just introduce Trevi Harrison here, who is our outreach coordinator. I believe you'll be one-man armying or one-woman armying this FAQ section, is that correct?
Yes.
So I'll turn it over to Trevi.
Perfect. Patrick, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear just fine.
Wonderful. Well, Rachel is not here today to take care of some of the challenges that we are seeing come in. So Thank you to everyone who's been submitting challenges and asking questions and helping us get through this process. We really appreciate the engagement. We are seeing that we are getting closer and closer to having that corrected map as we come close to the end of the challenge period. So on that note, I'll start with the challenge period. Weird.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The challenge period does end April 14th, which is this Sunday. So if you're planning on starting a speed challenge, for example, today is the last day to do that because you do need to get 3 speed tests on 3 different days. So if you've been thinking about doing that, or someone in your community has been thinking about doing that, today is the last day to start that particular challenge, and we are running the clock on the rest of those challenges. Outside of that, I do want to reiterate something that Patrick said, that the absolute best way to contact us is through that team email, the ndot.broadbandoffice@nebraska.gov, where you'll get a response much faster if we're all able to see it instead of maybe just missing one of us. And in addition to that, we are posting the questions that we're seeing frequently to the FAQ page on the website. Other than that, some of the questions that we're seeing come up quite frequently, the main one coming from local governments and advocates in general, is they are having constituents reach out to them and say, I went to the availability map and for some reason it's asking me to sign in, or I'm not able to access my address on the NBO website. So we have encountered that issue, and it's a privacy setting issue. So our best recommendation for you is to do either switch browsers. So it's a known issue on Safari. So maybe switch to Chrome or another browser. Or if you're using a work laptop, you may be encountering the firewall from your institution. So you may have to switch to a different device as well. And we've seen some success with if you switch over either browsers or devices. Outside of that, we'll get into the more formal challenge process. And can I just confirm everyone is muted? I'm hearing a little bit of feedback.
I think everyone but me is muted, so if it's feedback, then it's probably coming from me.
Do you mind muting for just a second? Thank you. All right, perfect. So getting into the more formal challenge process, people are asking about enforceable commitments specifically. So when you go to the map and it says you're BEAD ineligible due to an enforceable commitment, what that means is there's an existing grant bringing broadband to that area. So it's coming. It hasn't necessarily hit the ground running yet, but there's already money deployed to make sure that area of Nebraska has broadband. And we want to be great stewards of the money that we have been able to have through this program. So we don't want to overbuild. And that's why that area is marked as BEAD ineligible. And they could potentially get broadband faster than BEAD would bring to them. So outside of that, there's also the question is how to move a location from served to unserved or underserved. When you file that challenge, you do need to take a look and make sure that you challenge all of the providers who serve that area. So if, for example, it's served by 2 providers, you need to file and you file against one of them, and it's still served by that other provider, it will not change status on the map if you have not filed against both providers. So just something to be aware of and be looking at as you're filing your challenges. Other than that, we have had several successful area challenges triggered. So congratulations and thank you to the advocates who have been able to do that. I don't know if it's a thank you from me because I am the one who am manually triggering those, but you are doing a great job. With that, we have gotten the question, when will we see the entire census block light up with those challenges spreading across the census block group? I am the one doing that manually, so give me about 5 business days. I know we're coming to the end of the challenge period, and those will all be in by the end of the challenge period. But give me a couple days when that is happening. Other than that, the main thing we've seen most recently is we are reviewing all of these challenges to see if they meet minimum level of evidence so that we can contact you and have some dialogue about why your challenge may not have met minimum level of evidence. So if you have received an email that says your challenge is rejected on a technicality and that did not make sense, please reach out and talk to us about that. There should be a note at the bottom that says why that was the case. And most people have been great about talking to us about it. But a few of the most common reasons are the evidence had an address in it and that did not match the address of the location that was challenged, or there's a missing piece of evidence. And then we've also seen that the wrong type of challenge is sometimes selected. So just little mistakes that are a barrier to getting your challenge through. Um, be on the lookout for those and be on the lookout for those emails from us saying minimum level of evidence was not met with this challenge. And then lastly, if you want to confirm that your challenge has made it through, it met minimum level of evidence, how do you do that? The best way to do that is through those Friday postings that Rachel puts up. You'll see with your challenge, there's going to be a status with it. If it says determined, it has been rejected for not meeting minimum level of evidence. If it has been marked challenged, then it's good to go. It's waiting to see if it will receive rebuttal. And once it receives rebuttal, or if it goes 30 days without receiving rebuttal, we will adjudicate it and pass it on to NTIA. So I know that was a lot of information. If you have any outstanding questions, please check the FAQ, please email us, please get in contact. We're coming to the end here. It's in sight, and we want to really make sure we have the most accurate map possible.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Trevi, for that. Continue on with the presentation here. Just looking back a little bit about some of the events that have happened in the last month or so. So we did meet, we being the office, did meet with the U.S. Census Bureau, UNL Extension, and the Nebraska Library Commission on a couple different items and ways that all our different agencies and organizations can be mutually beneficial to each other. And I just bring this up because I think this one and the Nebraska or the Omaha Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, also celebrating its 19th anniversary. We met with them as well and hosted them here in the NDOT building. I highlight both of those because they're great examples of kind of things we're doing outside of just bead. We are having impact in a variety of different areas that's not just focused on bead. I know a lot of what we have discussed is focused on that because that is our primary goal. But we do have a lot of secondary goals, and I think both of these meetings kind of achieved a lot of that and gave us some great networking opportunities for the office to be able to expand the impact of broadband into these other areas and build awareness in a lot of places that it may not have been before, may not be possible without the office. So I think these are both great opportunities. And another one was that we actually did have a sit down with an FCC commissioner along with Senator Fisher. Can't discuss any of the details that were held within that meeting, but just know that we are working with our federal delegation, obviously, to best represent the interests of the state of Nebraska. One other thing that I do want to say on this as well is on the next slide is all of the upcoming stuff for the challenge process. Trevi touched on a lot of this, but April 14th will be the last day to submit challenges. All challenges are also posted weekly, as Trevi mentioned, and we've obviously had previous discussions over what is considered the official notice. So we do have an automated system down to the minute that sends out an email to the registered email inbox for those who are being challenged, and that is considered our official notice. However, in the event that that did not work, or there's some kind of technical glitch, or the email is wrong, or something like that happens, our fallback is that Friday posting. So we will always be checking up on, starting that 30-day clock on the date of that email going out for the rebuttals. But if that were to fail, then our fallback would be that Friday notice. So we encourage everyone to always check those Friday postings, just in case that something did challenge you, but actually was missed because of some glitch within the system. So want that to be made aware to everybody. And that being said, because rebuttals are 30 days from the post notification, that is a rolling timeline. And the absolute last day, assuming that a challenge was made on April 15th, the absolute last day would be May 15th for the office to receive rebuttals. Now, that's not to say everyone should wait till May 15th, because obviously, again, 30-day rolling period, but even if you got it on the 14th, you can submit a rebuttal before then. That would definitely help out the office for sure, as we are getting thousands of different challenges, as Trevi mentioned, which have been fantastic to see the level of engagement we have across the state. But just know that does, involve a lot of manual hours, particularly for Trevi with those area challenges. So thank you for that. And then finally, our determinations will be made by June 14th. However, again, just because determinations are made doesn't mean that they're going to be posted. We have to get them approved by NTIA, and they'll be doing an audit of all of our decision-making process. So just as you go through the process, and there might be frustrating things on the level of evidence that we're requiring or some kind of the stricter guidelines, just know, A, they apply to everybody. We're being as fair as possible with that. And also, B, we want to make sure that any challenges that we do adjudicate that adjust the map are approved by NTIA, and we don't have a back and forth with them as well. So there's a lot of work that's going into that, and our team's doing a great job. But I just want to take you guys under the hood really quickly as to exactly what that looks like here on our end. And moving on then to next month's topic, we'll be talking about broadband ready communities. This involves permitting, getting various local or units of government up and running with how to address the income broadband grants, because there's going to be $380 million worth of grants coming out, and we want everyone to be prepared, and we want to get this hit the ground running with a lot of the different grant programs, or a lot of different grant awards through the BEAD program. So that'll be the topic for next month, so you can look forward to that. However, if you do have any suggestions for future town hall topics that you think would be very beneficial, or you have lots of burning questions around, you can of course always email those questions to our email inbox, which is ndot.broadbandoffice@nebraska.gov, or you can send in a topic request and say, hey, I really would appreciate it if you talked about this topic, for example. So that's just on that wrap up. Now we get into Q&A. If there are any questions, we'd love to address them at this moment in time. Trevi, are there any questions in the chat before we get to any voice questions?
There are not any in the chat.
Okay. Well, I want to offer just about a minute or two just in case that anyone has any questions. Of course, if you don't have any questions now, but you come up with them later, please feel free to send it to our email inbox. Again, ndot@broadbandoffice, or ndot.broadbandoffice@nebraska.gov. Any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or type them up. Either one of those is okay. I'm not hearing any. It looks like everyone's still on mute as I kind of flip through here, so I don't want to just sit here and take up all of your guys' time, especially as people are leaving. So again, thank you all for attending today and kind of going through this presentation with us. Thank you for Trevi for the FAQ portion. And again, if you have any questions following this presentation, please send them to ndot.broadbandoffice@nebraska.gov. So, and with that, I'll end the meeting here, and thank you guys all so much for coming.